Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jawad. Thank you for watching my YouTube page. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button down below. And right next to it is the bell notification. I try to upload videos weekly, depending on my crazy schedule. And when I do, you'll be the first to be notified if you hit that bell notification. If you're watching on Facebook, thank you very much. I appreciate that as well. Please hit the like button down below. Please visit my webpage at www.totalhealthtopage.com. If you want to book a free 15-minute consultation with me, I'll be more than happy to talk to you or Skype with you. Just hit the book now at the upper right-hand corner. So somebody emailed me this question regarding how the thyroid gland is involved with the other systems of the body. She was very curious because she went to her medical doc. She was experiencing thyroid symptoms. She was feeling fatigue, just tiredness, weight gain, the outer 2/3 of her eyebrows. She was losing her hair. Her hair and skin wasn't looking too good either. And the medical practitioner just tested the TSH and the T4, and it came back within normal limits. Now, she was very confused because she had seen my videos in the past. She's a subscriber to my YouTube channel, and she was asking him more questions about how does the thyroid, how does the gut, how does the adrenal glands play a big part in our overall body? Because if this is, why is this normal and I'm feeling this way? Well, she said that he couldn't give an answer. So basically, she fired him. So if this sounds familiar to you, if I'm telling somebody's story, then you want to listen to my video, because the thyroid gland is just, I always explain it, it's kind of like a 5-piece band. Every single band member plays a part in how the music sounds. Okay, so what I want to start off with, the involvement of hormones. Now, what controls the body is your nervous system and the endocrine system. The endocrine system is the hormonal system. So when we are low on hormones, it sends a signal through the nervous system to the hypothalamus gland, sends down a signal down to the pituitary gland, which triggers the endocrine system to release hormones in the blood, to be released in the bloodstream. Now, if you're low on something, it's going to raise it up. If you're too high on something, it's going to lower it down. So part of the hormonal system is to upregulate or downregulate the hormones needed in the body. Okay, so that plays a big part. And again, hormones control every single aspect in how the body works. Okay, so if your hormones are not working correctly, then this is one aspect that you need to look at why your body is out of whack. Okay, so basically it's not going to work right. So, like, just for example, if you have fatigue, she had poor sleep, her hair and skin wasn't looking good. She was even trying to conceive with her husband, and it just wasn't working. So, again, it's one of the things that you got to look at is how the thyroid gland reacts to all this, because, again, you have the hypothalamus, you have the pituitary, and the adrenal, which is called the HPA axis, that controls the whole body. I always like to throw in, because the adrenal glands work in conjunction with the thyroid gland, and if that's not properly looked at, then your whole system could be out of whack. And this is what happened with this patient of mine. So again, the doctors they're trained to look at only one thing, okay? Just the one thing. They're not trained to look at the whole band. So for example, if you have a 5-piece band, if the guitar player sounds awesome, and the drummer is the one that doesn't sound well, then overall the whole band is not going to be playing well. Now again, if you just look at the guitar player and say, okay, let's fix this person, you're missing the whole picture. Okay, so we have different hormonal glands. We have the thyroid glands, we have the adrenal glands, the pancreas, which secretes insulin and glucagon. The gut and the liver play a huge part of how the body works as well, because if you have a poor digestive health or even a boggy liver, which I've done videos in the past about the liver, sure, your thyroid gland is going to be affected as well, and that's one system that you have to look at. So many doctors, I'm not going to put anybody down, but many doctors are trained to not look outside the box because simply that's what they're trained on doing. Okay, if you have a hammer in your hand, if everything looks like a nail, you're just going to be walking around whapping everybody in the head because they're a nail. Okay, but flip the hammer over and you could actually pull out stuff. So it's just something to look at. So what happened to her is that they tested only the TSH and the T4, which signified everything was normal, okay, within normal limits. He failed to look at the adrenal glands. He failed to look at the gut. He failed to look at the pancreas. He failed to look at everything else. And basically, she fired him. In which I always do encourage my patients to fire your doctor if they do not want to look outside the box. Because even as a medical practitioner, I don't know everything. However, I'm always willing to hear something that I'm not fully trained on and at least get somebody else's opinion. Okay, because with her, it was one of the things that you want to look at is the insulin levels, the adrenal hormones, the sex hormones, because they all played a huge part in how she was feeling. Now, with the insulin, when you're taking too many carbohydrates, you have insulin. One of the functions of insulin is to lower blood sugar. However, another function of insulin is to store fat. And that takes up a lot of energy to do those two processes. For example, we've all went to the restaurant where I just had it last week. I had a big meal. I haven't seen friends were from out of town. Me and my wife, we went to dinner, and we had this big meal. I had a lot of bread. I rarely eat that much bread, but I had a lot of bread, a lot of pasta. They were Italian, and I was just tired. I just went home and I was in a food coma. Why? Because that insulin was shutting my body down. Okay, so again, there's a lot of other aspects on how the body's going to work, how it's going to experience fatigue. So one of the things I always stress to my patients is you have to work your gut. The gut is a second brain. Okay, so the old phrase is if you want to fix your brain, fix your gut. If you want to fix your gut, fix your brain, because those two play a big part. Like for example, that story that with my wife and I was in a food coma. I couldn't even operate. I just came home and I crashed. Okay. So if you're eating the standard American diet, what's happening to your body is that you're feeding the bad bacteria and you're starving the good bacteria. Okay, so that bad bacteria is going to subscribe substances into the bloodstream to tell your brain to eat more carbohydrates. This is why when you're eating a bad diet, you are never satisfied. And we're all guilty of this at some point. Okay, so again, then you experience what's the spin-off is you're going to experience thyroid symptoms. So one of the things I always try to look at, and I want to make this point, is that your diet, it will inflame your whole body, and when the whole body is inflamed, then yes, you're going to be experiencing thyroid symptoms. Okay, so this leads me to another aspect, the immune system. Okay, I talked about the gut, I talked about the hormones. Okay, the adrenals play a big part as well. Now, the immune response, the immune system, let's say that is the manager of the band. Okay, and the old phrase is a band is only as good as its manager, and a manager is only as good as its band. Okay, so if you're eating a bad diet and you're surrounding yourself by environmental toxins like pollution, chemical pollution, if you have a lot of emotional stress, okay, the immune system is going to take a big hit. And if the immune system takes a big enough hit, it's going to turn on itself and it's going to attack itself, and that's called an autoimmune response, an autoimmune disease. Now, an autoimmune disease is just basically the immune system attacking its body, but the question is, which was it attacking? Is it attacking your thyroid gland? Well, that's Hashimoto's. Is it Graves' disease? Is again your thyroid gland? Is it your pancreas, type 1 diabetes, and so forth and so on? Is it your colon? It could be Crohn's disease. So the immune response is going to take a big enough hit to turn on itself. So essentially, the manager, imagine this. The band pisses off the manager that much, so the manager attacks the band. And as a big picture, this is what's wrong with the body. Okay, so again, the thyroid is just one player in a very, very big picture of how everything works together. So as a patient, as a practitioner, what do I always explain to my patients, and also to my response to email questions, is you have a job to do. Ask your doctor, how does it play a part? Again, interview your doctor. If your doctor is not open to other avenues to treat, then fire them. Fire him or her. You deserve to have somebody to think outside the box, because I always say this, The body is not a domino, it's more of a star pattern. One system is always going to affect the next, and the next. I'm a functional medicine doctor. I work on thyroid, I work on adrenal glands, and I work on gut. That's the start of my star pattern. Okay? So, I hope this makes sense. If you want to get a hold of me, please email me, www.totalhealthtopage.com. I got my email address there. Ask a question on YouTube. As you can see down below, I answer a lot of the questions through YouTube. Or if you want a free consultation, go to my webpage, do the book now. I'll be more than happy to give you 15 minutes of my time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much.